Check it out. These failing marks right here are just paint marker. Pretty sweet. Exhaust turned out really good. It looks killer. Let's put it in the wood, see how she cuts. Okay, y'all. Sun up top, shadow beneath. Probably not going to make for the best video, but it is what it is. Now, it's a completely fresh saw, so we don't want to burden it too much. Do a couple easy cuts with it and see what we think. It is running the stock chain, which is an Oregon. It's a full chisel, but it's a safety chain. And so these things are good chains, they're fine, but they don't cut all that fast. I love the way those hammerheads sound. Very nice. So, to my buddy back home that's getting this saw, give your wife a nice hug and kiss for me and enjoy your present, buddy. It's a great saw. These things take about 10 tanks to break in, so it'll get considerably more powerful the more you use it. To a point, of course, you know, but keep that in mind. I mean, it's running great right now, but this is a brand new saw. It may have been used once, but honestly, I don't know if it was even used once. There was oil in the tank already, but there was no gasoline. the chain and the bar looked absolutely brand new. So who knows? I don't know if it was completely brand new or if somebody got it and used it once and then took it back to Home Depot. I don't know how it worked out, but the modifications are as follows. It has had the timing advanced just about 6 degrees, I believe it is, with the timing key from Gearhead Performance. Matt Robinson on YouTube, look him up. It also has the air filter O-ring kit to keep fines out, you know, so that it gets better filtration. And it has a hammerhead exhaust built by me, and it has been ported and polished by me. So this is a dang skippy little Christmas present for my buddy. I hope you get many good years of service out of it. You want it to burble a little bit. You can hear it burbling, right? These echoes, even whenever you do the modification to the carburetor. Oh, did I mention that? The carburetor was modified. The secondary jet on the high jet, it has a secondary governing jet that has been, the whole jet has been replaced with a normal jet that doesn't have that governing hole in it. So, but even still, they like to run a little bit on the rich side. You want to be burbling just a little tiny bit in the cut. As soon as you actually dig on it just a little bit, it should clear up. But that's the way they like to run, and should last you for many years. These are darn good saws. Let's do one more cut. I like it. Merry Christmas. Hey, so I just realized that I didn't really speak any at all to whether or not the porting that I chose to go with worked. Okay? Yes. I mean, I have no way of testing it, and even if I did, it would be useless because we all know that these echoes really take a full 10 tanks or so to break in. And so if I was to measure it against something else, it would be a moot point, you know, because this thing is still completely fresh. So it has to break in. But it feels like it has just as much power as my current Direwolf. And my current Direwolf is broken in. It has the Echo 620 carburetor, and it has the Echo 620 ignition coil and a muffler mod. And so this thing that I just built feels just as strong as that. Maybe a touch stronger. And so that's a big deal. This thing still has the old 590 carburetor, and it has the 590 coil on it. It's just advanced with that key that I got from Gearhead. So this port job, again, I don't have anything to measure it against really, and it would be pointless to measure it because of what I just said. But by feel, and remember, it's just it still has that Oregon safety chain on it. I mean, they cut good, but from the factory like that, the rakers are too high, and the Oregons really can benefit from a file straight out of the box. So, do I think that it worked? Absolutely. Hands down. Absolutely, it did. It worked. I will probably do the exact same thing to my current direwolf that I am actually going to give away to one of you subscribers for a Christmas present. I just sent Devin a message because, it's getting close. We need to go ahead and get this thing together. He's supposed to be building the pipe that goes on to the Christmas giveaway saw. But yeah, the port numbers, if you're watching this video fresh and you didn't see the porting of this chainsaw, what I did was I took... I don't know how much I took off of the base. I don't care. I got it at 21 thousandths squish. So whatever I took off the base doesn't matter. My squish is at 21 thousandths. I ended up going too far, and so I had to use the gasket, which is perfectly fine. But with the gasket now, it's a perfect 21 thousandths of an inch squish, which is right where you want to be. That's as far as you can really take this saw because of the way the cylinder and the skirt of the piston is. You can't really do anything else, anything further than that. You would have to weld the combustion chamber if you wanted to get more compression than what I have currently done, or have a custom piston made. The exhaust roof was at, I believe, right at 114 degrees. And I took it down to 110 because I wanted to keep as much compression as possible. These things, there ain't much you can do to make them rev high. They're torque saws. And so a low exhaust roof is perfectly fine with me. But the intake, dropping the cylinder down, it increased the intake duration. And it was at 78 degrees. Which gives you a nice 156 duration on your intake. The exhaust is at 110 degrees, so you have a nice low roof to get as much out of that stroke as possible, and I left the transfers completely untouched. And so if you're wanting to port one of these things and you want a good, safe port job that you know isn't going to put you backwards, or you would... What I did the first time, I think all of the compression that I added by milling the base on the first 590 that I did, I lost a lot of it whenever I took the exhaust roof too high. I think I had it at about 103. And so I lost all that compression that I gained. I mean, I didn't lose any power. I just didn't gain what I felt I should have. And so I think that this was a real nice, safe port job for a 590. Is it screaming and crazy? No. But to get a 590 to do that, they've got a lot of things holding them back. They're not meant to do that. They're meant to be torque saws. They're meant to be lugger, chugger saws. And this thing felt great. It felt great, and I'm very happy with the port job. So it really, thumbs up. It was really nice. And it didn't bog. I was laying on it pretty good and cutting right through there. What more can you ask for out of a 60cc saw? That thing runs great and feels great. A lot of people like to talk about how big the 590 is, and it is. It is a little bit too big for what its size range, its CCs, but you get used to it. I know my buddy, the saw that his only big saw is a 440, and he's tired of using that. He's told me he's tired of using that. It's just so big for what he's doing, and then. To contrast, his 440, he has, I think he's got two steel MS250s. you know. So he's either got the choice of not enough power or way too much. And so this saw is going to fall right in the middle for him. If you're watching this, buddy, I mean, I don't want to say his name because of the chance of possibly he's watching my videos and we'll get a hint that it's his, you know what I mean? But if it's Christmas Day, then your wife has already said, "Hey, look at these videos," and hopefully you're watching it, guy. But this chainsaw, if you want to leave this 20-inch bar on it, she'll be happy as a pig and shit and run great for you forever. If you want to go ahead and go on up, I highly would recommend going for a 24-inch bar. Though it'll pull that just fine. It'll even pull bigger than that, but if you have to go bigger than a 24, you have your 440. Or actually, no, it's not a 440, it's a 460. Yeah, it's a 460. So I don't see the point. I think the 20-inch bar is probably where you'll be comfortable with this saw, because I know what you're cutting and stuff, and if you have to go bigger than that 20-inch bar, you'll probably just reach for your big steel. But as far as tuning, I'm going to send it just a little bit rich for my environment because I know it's going to be colder up there for you. So that burble that I was talking about, you have a high jet and a low jet. Your low jet is where you set your idle, and you got your idle adjustment screw, and watch some videos on how to tune a carburetor. But specifically on that burble, right? What I want you to feel whenever you're cutting is if you are just letting it, if you're just letting the saw work, it's probably going to go, right? That's that little burble that I'm talking about. You can hear it on the video. But as soon as you put pressure on it and dig it in, it clears up completely. That's where you want to be. If you've got too much burble and it's not cleaning up, then you need to turn the high jet in because you're running too rich. If you don't have that burble at all, like whenever you're just gliding, gently cutting, if you don't have that burble at all, then you want to back your high jet out just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? To get it whenever you're full throttle and just sitting there cutting on the log, right? It should be burbling in and out. You with me? Yeah, make fun of me. Go ahead, right? But as soon as you put any kind of pressure on it, no more burble. No more burble. That's the way you want these 590s to run. That's my experience. That's the best I can tell you. So play around with that. But if you're not getting any burble at all, fatten up that high jet. Give it some more fuel. It's just like a faucet. You lefty-loosey is going to open it up more, get more flow of fuel, and it'll burble more. Right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the saw. This thing, yeah, it's time for you to move on from steel being the only thing that you have. Nothing wrong with steel. They've never been my thing for sure, but they do make quality machines, no doubt about it. But there's other stuff out there, you know? And this proves it. You're going to love this saw. All right. Later.